question. Have you ever wanted to bring the taste of a steakhouse home without selling out a pig's arm or a crab's leg, especially for the love of your life or the love of your life elect? If so, then this video is for you, because today I got a cookbook that's going to teach you how to do just that, while also flipping the most polite middle finger possible to the establishment. I hope you're dolled up within reason, because from Morton's the Steakhouse at the Shops at Riverside here in Hackensack, New Jersey, it's prime time for you to open mouth, open wide, and insert nostalgia. You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown's Fork On The Roadshow, making thrifting delicious, one bite and one review at a time. You can see and hear, probably a bit too much, this place loads up on the class. I got my accoutrements ready to go, water, Brisk iced tea in a French Central Park travel cup, which we'll talk about another time, and I've just been served a fresh loaf of bread, complete with Morton's butter. All that's good to open wide into, as is this cookbook. Benny Blanco's Open Wide, a cookbook for friends. If you don't know who Benny Blanco is, he's one of those multi-hyphenates. Songwriter, music producer, actor, mogul, and, thanks to this, New York Times best-selling cookbook author. Oh yeah! There's another blessing that his talents have landed him, a fiancée, Selena Gomez. If his talents work for her, imagine what they could do for you. This was purchased, actually, at Barnes & Noble in this very same establishment, the Shops at Riverside in Hackensack, a couple of days after Christmas for 50% off its retail price of $35 in the US. In Canada, it retails at $43.50. There are two menus worth highlighting for this review. The first one actually inspired the whole darn thing, and it's called Fuck Morton's Steakhouse. I gotta whisper it because if I say it out loud, these guys will kick me out and YouTube will give me a community guideline strike. They blocked the last video similar to this. Fuck, that's delicious by Action Boxes, so I gotta play it safe.
Do you like Morton's? Do you dislike Morton's? What's the story?
Okay. Here's what it is. It's not against Morton's. It's just when you're going out to a steak restaurant.
Right.
It's tough because you're paying so much for a piece of meat that's not necessarily the best meat. They're not sitting there like taking all the time to make it the perfect steak, flip it the right way, put it over the fire the right way. I think you're better off getting an amazing piece of meat from a butcher. You go home, you make it yourself, you make the sides exactly how you want them, and you put the love in it.
You like the activity, you like the cooking activity, you like the cheaper activity of it, and you create your the restaurant vibe at your house.
Of course.
This is just one of many photographs that the photographer Johnny Miller. Delicious, sumptuous, and in some places, especially when it comes to Benny's portraits, a little bit daring. As are the humorous, oftentimes heartfelt, and always scrumptious for the soul adventures and misadventures you get at the beginning of each chapter in here. But on to the recipes. Best potatoes ever, which serves 8 to 10. No photograph for that. But we do have a photograph for little salmon roll toasts, which will make 8. We also have a classic Caesar salad, which will serve 6 to 8. Cream spinach, which is one of your more traditional steakhouse sides. And again, that serves 6 to 8. And paired alongside that, the best potatoes. There was a photograph after all. So be looking for what's preparing to certain photographs. We also have John Mama shrimp. Fresh legacies, in Benny's case, makes it truly spectacular. I wish the same for you. Especially if you want to sign them on and pronounce them as Longestine. You know, like Chef Ramsay, Longestine. How I long for some Longestines. Just like you might be longing for Benny Blanco's perfect steak. Done 3 ways. You could do it smoked, sous vide, or seared. Finally, you gotta have dessert. And in this case, we have strawberries and cream. Classic. And that'll serve 8 to 10. Plus, Benny gives you a few steps to make your own homemade whipped cream. This menu alone is probably worth the price of admission. But this menu really sealed the deal. 5 dishes to get you laid. And 1 for the morning after. We did a whole week of videos that entice you to get laid for the right reasons on Valentine's Week, the American Sexperience. I was so tempted to include this in there, but I figured, you know what, the F. Morton Steakhouse menu in here definitely warranted me taking this to the place where they may not take too kindly to that statement. Martha Stewart might take kindly to Benny Blanco. I mean, he does have a crush on her. I don't know why her, but I guess in the eyes of some, she can be a thirst trap. Or she could be quite a hunger trap, in which case, out of respect, you want to whip up these Please Marry Me Martha Stewart latkes. This is John and Vinny's spicy fusilli. Doing this with one hand is a real challenge. Anyway, this was inspired by or adapted from John Shook and Vinny DiTolo, 2 powerful LA restaurateurs. And if you remember the chick from Roswell, Sherry Appleby, yeah, that's John Shook's wife. And I wonder if this recipe had anything to do with their courtship. You see what cooking can do for you? Especially you single folk out there. This is Dave's Company Chicken and Company Noodles. And it'll serve 4. It's from a pal of Benny's, Dave. Photo right there. That definitely looks classy and delicious. Nice date night material. That is if you're serving 4. Company chicken and company noodles. Might want to find a more seductive name for that. This is the Maddie. As you can tell, this is inspired by his good friend, Maddie Madison, who is the co-host of their stupid fucking cooking show. And of course, Maddie Madison is quite a bear in his own right. On Munchies, on the Emmy-winning The Bear for FX, this is the burger that's guaranteed to get you laid. Last time I checked, burgers got nobody in the sack, but trust Maddie, within reason. Finally, we have Shaw's Banana Pudding. This one is inspired by one of Benny's other pals in the songwriting city business, Shaw. You might recognize her from the movie One of Them Days, or co-headliner of Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl halftime show. Anyway, this banana pudding will serve 8, depending on who those 8 people might be. In addition to a guide to throwing the perfect picnic and party, and healthiest recipes, plus a guide on where to eat in New York and LA, we also have one of the more bizarre recipes, if you will, to close out this cookbook. Frying a Rolex. And I kid you not, on one fine day, on Instagram Live, Benny and a friend decided to deep fry the $16,500 Rolex watch that Ed Sheeran gave him. He fried that sucker in an Italian breadcrumb coating and batter. If you're one of the more brazy people out there, you might want to give this project a whirl. Which reminds me, is it a good idea to deep fry this? Somebody tell Jonathan Paula and Joy Karen of a new spin-off I have for them. Is it a good idea to deep fry this and have Benny Blanco be the host? Or Joy Karen, he really was the OG. With deep fried Rolex, I really should go no further. But this cookbook got rave reviews from Maddie Madison, Tian Gerard, Joshua Weissman, Renee Redzepi, and David Kane of the Momofuku Restaurant Group. Momofuku? This dude is one weird Momofuku. But you know what? He is weird for all the right and all the genuinely delicious reasons that you just saw here. I definitely am opening wide for new opportunities for Benny within the cooking arena, but this is definitely a mighty step forward. Oh my. That is the chicken Christopher. Oh, I'm all set. And you already saw the components on the menu. There's probably no need for a side dish. But there is a need for me to show you all the recipe chapters in here, equaling to over 100 recipes. 18 food chapters. Honorable mention goes to My Big Fat Greek Wedding. If you haven't seen the movie, at least listen to the soundtrack. Open Wide by Benny Blanco, aka Benjamin Levin, gets 4.5 out of 5 claps. If nothing else, this is certainly a rebel with one delicious cause to get you to get into the kitchen and make love to it. But as always, please do it responsibly. That's the word. From my mouth to your mouth. Have a good one. Next time, TSR makes a supermarket sweep of its own with a trip to Aldi and Clifton. Stay tuned and stay hungry as we get swept away to a piece of childhood. Thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, there's no limit to bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Please go ahead and check out another awesome review like this one by clicking here, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here. Until next time, I'll catch you, as I always do, on the thrift side.